Hey Taurus, this is a random specific, I think, for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, Neptune, Saturn. Jeez. If you have Taurus in your chart at all and the name of this reading resonates, which I have no idea what it's going to be yet. But I can tell you that it's not going to be kind of reading where, who does he have a crush on me? It's not that kind of reading. This is trigger warning. Big time trigger warning. Talks of sexual assault. Okay. My little notes today are, and I'll get here to, yeah. The Rain Support Network, Rain's Pinterest page. So, for somebody here, or this is a general, and you can just hang out and see if anything resonates. Sexual assault comes in all forms and sizes, and sometimes if you're in a relationship with someone, you can misunderstand especially if you don't know any better, abuse. So either whoever I'm talking to, this was a relationship that you were in or are in, but I'm thinking that you've kind of let it go. I feel like you've let it go. I feel like this is more in the past than now. And there are some warning signs that we're going to talk about that might make you realize that you were sexually assaulted, and there's some underlying pain that kind of needs to be worked through with acknowledgement and therapy and a routine, a ritual of self-care and understanding. If that's not it, it's maybe you have a job where you work with children. Or I used to work for the Girl Scouts of Los Angeles and like the corporation part. So there was a lot of training to look for signs of abuse and sexual abuse and things like that. And when we realize that what is like 93% of sexual assault happens, especially with children, by somebody that they know. If it's not in their family, it's a teacher, it's someone from church, it's an uncle, it's a grandpa, it's a grandma, it's something. So it could be that you have a child around you that may be in a dangerous situation, or just literally you are in a position to be able to teach a child to protect themselves. Okay, if you have children, pay attention to some of these signs, because these days sexual assault might not even involve physical interaction, meaning online. Meaning streaming, gaming, that you might not even know is going on, and that's a whole new arena, right? With the pictures and the chats and the okay. So that's what we're talking about here. This is going to be triggering, though. So if you're feeling like you resonate with this, but you're not feeling strong today, just go ahead and save this video for a couple days or a week or, next month maybe when you're feeling stronger. So it's a delicate subject. And it might not be so black and white is what I'm seeing here. It might not be so black and white. And if you're still in this relationship, please pay attention, because this was your sign. This is a sign that's going to match right up with one red flag that happens this week. And that's your higher power trying to shake you and say, get out before something really horrible does happen to you. Okay? Okay, so if this is you in a relationship, oh my God, sorry, I want to cry here. Now, not just in a relationship. If you are single, but you have a lot of people around you that like to sexually objectify you, here's a warning sign here. And sexual assault, it doesn't always start with that. It starts small, right? It's the casual comment. It's the, like I have meaty morsels, food as people. So someone would like refer to you as like a snack, or like I wrote down New Jeans cookie. Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, please give me strength. Okay, there's this K-pop band of very young teenage girls called New Jeans. Right? New Jeans, like new blue jeans, but no, it's like Genes. Right? These little girls don't even have hips yet. These little girls haven't even grown their little tatas yet. And they're pimping these little girls out around the world. They've got this song called Cookie, and it's disgusting. And if you have a strong stomach, check it out. I don't know how this is illegal. Like, come on, South Korea. How is this legal? Is that who you are? Like, it's basically a song about, hey, I got something for ya, but it ain't free. Come take a bite of this fresh little cookie. Like, those are pretty much literally the lyrics. These are 15-year-old girls. Okay? So, anyone around you that has that mentality, that treats your body parts like it's something to be consumed, watch out for that. And I don't even, like, even if you're married, watch out for that. You could be married to someone who sexually assaults you or sexually harasses you, and you need to get away from that person and be with someone who respects and honors your sexuality and your sensuality. Period. So, anyone that refers, or if you're like a person of color and someone, oh my God, like anytime, like they call you chocolate this, or like mocha this, or like you're, oh my God. Like they refer to your skin color as related to food. Fuck that. Fuck that. Okay? That's not okay. Watch out for that. And, like if you're old and you already knew, it's just something that maybe you can pass down to some of the younger girls that you might come across. And there's this, let me get there in a second. Meaty morsels, food as people. Watch out for that. So if you're someone who's being objectified by people around you, they're supposed to be your friends, or they're supposed to be your uncle, or they're supposed to be your manager, your whatever. You need to really create some safe boundaries between you and that person, because their mind ain't right. You do not exist to be consumed. You ain't anybody's breakfast, snack, dinner, whatever, nothing like that. Or if you see someone around a child, or treating them like that, or talking to them like that, it's coming up for you in this reading because you are being asked to intervene somehow. Okay? Watch out for that. Someone that doesn't respect your boundaries. Like if you are in a marriage or a relationship and Like the bedroom is dark to you, the bed is dark to you. It's almost like you don't know what, you don't want to make your bed. This is very specific for somebody, okay? You don't want to make your bed. You never want to make your bed. Whenever you want to make your bed, it makes you want to cry. That's a clue. Okay, and if we're talking about a child and this isn't you in a past relationship or a current relationship or a, God forbid, family, okay, if this is like a child or a teenager or a preteen, anything, I mean, I'm a girl, I'm a small girl, and I bet you anything you can ask any girl, and they could say the same thing. I started getting hollered at, yelled at, catcalled when I was like 10, like 9, 10. I used to walk to school and walk home every day, you know, elementary school. So it's important to educate the younger children too, and boys too. Gone are the days where we can pretend like it's not happening to young boys, older boys, grown men. It's been this culture of we don't talk about it, we don't talk about it, we don't talk about it. Well, we need to talk about it. So if this isn't you, it's important to have that difficult conversation. So with a teenager, it would be like unusual weight loss or weight gain, bruises that they can't explain or that they seem flustered trying to explain, unhealthy eating patterns in general. So eating all the time, bulimia, that's a form of self-harm and it's a cry for help. Anorexia, it's a cry for help. You know, it's trying to control a situation in which they're completely out of control. So they try to find that control where they can. Or completely eating, being totally overweight. Like rapid weight gain, mixed with aggression. Watch out for that. Falling grades. They used to be an A+ student, and now they're getting all D's and F's, and they don't care. Okay, changes in hygiene. They won't shower, they can't shower. They don't want water to touch them. They don't want anyone to touch them. They don't want anyone to come close to them. Or the reverse of that, where it's almost an OCD, where they can't stop washing their hands. They can't stop taking showers. They want to get in the bathtub and stay there, you know, until the water gets cold. Okay, and that's very specific for somebody. It's a warning sign. And if it's not sexual assault and that's going on, that there's something else going on, please investigate that. If you can check that off the list for sure. Not just by yourself. This is alongside accredited therapist, not homegirl from church. Please. And thank you. Okay? People that have been trained to do this. Yeah, there's a spiritual side that they might not able to be expressed through that avenue, but that avenue is almost more important than anything else, that your child has someone outside of the situation, outside of the family, with no ties to anyone, that they can at least sit in a room with and talk to. If not that, about anything, to gain trust. But hopefully you've built trust with your child growing up. But, yeah, falling grades, changes in hygiene. They love to dress really nice, and now they don't care. They only just wear this one, like, ratty outfit or something. They smell really bad. It's almost like a defense mechanism. If they're gross, and they smell bad, this person won't try to touch them or something. That's an example. But self-harm, suicide, heavy drinking or drug use. Okay, so I think if we're moving from, elementary school to middle school to high school to grown, it goes from that to the cutting, the literal self-harm, harming others, hurting animals. Sorry, that's rough for me to even say. Okay. If this is you in a relationship, even if you are like a teenager, someone's trying to pressure you sexually to do things you're not ready for, that is sexual assault. If someone coerces you into sexual activity that you don't want to do and you're not ready for, that's sexual assault. And you need to get away from that person. And that is not okay. Okay? If being with the person makes you feel less powerful and not more powerful, and you're the person that can't make the bed and you don't want to look at it, pay attention. They won't use condoms. That's sexual assault. They're abusive to you if you're unwilling to, give them. They would say that, why won't you give me sex? Something like that. Give me this. You owe me this. You are this to me, so give me this. That sort of thing, that's abuse. That's sexual abuse. So if they try to talk you into something you're not ready for, that's it too. And that creates trauma. We weren't built to be traumatized, or would be fine with it, would go along with our lives, but we don't. It ruins our lives. We become non-functional human beings because we weren't built to be dealing with that. We weren't built to put up with that. It is not natural. I don't care how common it is. It is not natural. And it is not okay. And that is why we're traumatized by it. Because we have not evolved to be savages and rapists to each other. Whew, okay, hold on. So, if you're around, like if you're a teacher in the scenario here, is that you're teaching. We teach them to also not be assailants themselves, right? Because hurt people hurt people. So if we can teach them young, or if you were not taught this and you're learning this as an older person, there is a first time for everything. There is a first day for everything. And when we know better, we do better. Okay, so hang in there with me. We teach them to respect others' boundaries, period. We teach them to nurture themselves and others. We teach them that they have private parts, right? It's really important also to teach children about their bodies in general. It's the overview of the body. This is your body. This is your space. This is your circle. It's not just the body. It's like this circle of privacy around them, a bubble that we don't let people cross. So that should be taught, right? Consent. Consent is so important. Not just teaching children to be kind to others, but to ask and to communicate. And if they see something, say something. We teach them to communicate so they can be comfortable coming to us as adults, right? And know that they will be heard. This children should be seen and not heard thing is designed by pedophiles, if you ask me. Just shut everyone up. Nobody talks about it. Who does that benefit? Who does that benefit? So you teach them that their body is their body. You teach them sovereignty in a way that a child can understand. Maybe using a doll if you need. Teach them their body parts. What are they know what their hands are called. They know what their nose is called. You need to teach them the correct terms for, their penis, their vagina, the different parts of their anatomy. So if, God forbid, there is ever a time where they need to speak on something that happened to them, they can say directly. And it's not, my tata, my flower, and my this and my that could be interpreted in different ways and misunderstood, and then you have a problem on your hands maybe when there's not. Or there's a problem on your hands that you're not seeing because you're not understanding the terms, because it's been made so vague because we don't want to say penis. We don't want to say vagina. We don't want to say labia. We don't want to say, scrotum or whatever. We can't be squeamish about teaching children the terms for their body parts. Okay, this is a difficult message, but I guess I'm just gonna have to say it. Talk about your own experiences with sexual assault to maybe not your kids in that way, but in a way that they understand that it can happen to someone they know, someone who's very strong, someone that they look up to, that they would see as kind of invincible. It's important to talk realistically about life, especially with preteens, especially with teenagers. Teach them to say no, how to say no. And make sure, like I was saying, that they feel comfortable being able to ask questions about sex or sexuality. And teach them, like I was saying, to be specific. But there's something here with the waterfall in reverse that you need to not let go. If you are the parent, there's going to be maybe a conversation or some signs that you see that you didn't notice before, maybe on a shopping trip. Have an impromptu shopping trip. Take them to the grocery store. Take them to a gallery if they love art. Somewhere where it's sort of quiet, but it's kind of in public, but it's sort of personal as well. It's not like a movie where you're not talking. It's where you can comfortably move or look at something at your own pace, a botanical garden. Something like that, a sanctuary where it's protected in the 3D, which is as above, so below, creates kind of a protective feeling in itself, which is why I love botanical gardens. Places like, I love, sorry, I'm a weirdo. I really love cemeteries because they're quiet and no one's there, and I'm fine with spirits. I see dead people since I was born, so I'm someone who's comfortable in that situation. And maybe that's something you have in common. It's like, oh, you want to go see so-and-so's grave. Maybe it's a famous person in town, but it's away from the hustle and the bustle, but it's still kind of a public place. I don't know. That's for somebody, but maybe get them talking. Everything in this reading is about don't bury your head in the sand. Don't let something go. Don't let something go. With the cloud there's wisdom that can be shared here. And a ritual that, I'm using ritual as just another word for something that you repeat every day. So teach them to check in with themselves every day if they're still a child. If this is you in a relationship or was, make sure you're checking in with yourself every day. You have to take it day by day because it goes in waves. It goes in waves, if you're a survivor. Or if this is not a relationship, it's just literally you are the survivor of a sexual assault or attack of some kind. And it's just a reminder that you're amazing and you're doing it. And you take it day by day. You have good days and you have bad days. And you give yourself little signs and red flags so you know, oh, the bed making thing and okay. For me, I have a little red flag for myself in the day if I wake up and I just can't make my bed. Like, I make my bed every day. It's a ritual I have to get going, to get myself, moving and living, and it helps to be tidy, so for me, a red flag is if I can't make my bed that day, I'm going to have a rough day, and I need to take it easy, and I need to take my to-do list and, take it from 10 things and maybe knock it down to 1 and take a rain check on myself. After the Harvey Weinstein thing came out, Rose McGowan was talking about being a survivor and checking in with herself, and a red flag that she had with herself to know that she needs to take it easy on herself that day is that she has clothes all over her floor. Dirty clothes all over her floor, or even clean clothes all over the floor. She knows that if she's got clothes all over her floor, it's a day to take it easy on herself. And to implement the tools that she learned through, therapy. Learned, we're not born with these tools, it's learned, and it's a process. And you have to take it day by day, and you have to take it with baby steps. So that was something that she shared on a podcast that I thought was really important. To have those little red flags with ourselves so we know that we might have to call in sick from work that day and not force it. Don't force anything. Don't force yourself to perform if you're feeling that way, because your higher power won't ask that of you. So who gives a fuck if your boss does? Sorry. This is not about you being tame in society. This is about your wildness that can't be tamed. The part of you that knows it's wrong. The part of you that knows you're sovereign. Or you teach that to a child. So with Elephant in Reverse, if this is a religion that you're in, what was that reading? It was about leaving a religion or an ideology. I'm sorry, I want to say Aquarius. I'll put a link below. If this is bigger than just you, and you're still with me, but you haven't been abused and you don't really know any children like that, it's that you were born into an abusive religion. And maybe there are parts of it that are beautiful. But the outcome of it is pain and murder and stoning and rape. All the things the devil loves in the world. It perpetuates that. You don't take it as it comes. Oh, well, it is what it is. No. You leave the devil in the past. This is the age of Aquarius. You say no to true traditions, to religions that objectify women, that excuse rapists and pedophilia. Period. In every way. And you start with yourself, the man in the mirror, right? You can't change the world, you change yourself. And then you change the world. Maybe just through your art. If you've already walked away and you're like, oh yeah, I know. Especially with everything that's going, everything that's going on in Iran right now. Ooh. Sorry. I've been waiting to see that my whole life, and it's... I'm so inspired by those women. I'm so inspired by those men that are standing up for those women finally. But it doesn't happen overnight. And it's a painful process. So if it's not that you've been a victim of sexual assault, or you know a child, or maybe are going to come across a child who has those warning signs, or it's a friend, like this could be your friend, and it's just a chance for you to notice that and maybe treat them a little more delicately, even if they're awful. Hurt people hurt people. It's the ability to love all of one's life without the interference of preference, but with clairvoyance and confidence, is what the eagle means. Clairvoyance and confidence. So if this is you in a relationship, and I pulled a couple cards to clarify here. If this is all in the past, and someone played you for a fool, and you thought it was love, but it just ended up being abuse, that's over. It's dead. It's done. The red is the blood that they caused, your heart. And you were never the same, but you're going to be okay. And if this is a period of feeling lost, know that the door will be open to you. And you will find a light to guide you and nudge you in the right direction. And you will find your confidence again. You'll get your mojo back again. Your sexuality is sacred. Your sensuality is sacred. If someone makes a joke of it, boom, they're out. If someone treats you like you're a piece of food or a drink, boom, they're out. And if it's a group of people, boom, they're out. Kick rocks. Take a long walk off a short pier. Who can you trust? Who can't you trust? Elder. Someone who gathers wisdom and shares it. Or be that person. Even if it's hard, even if it challenges your patience. But what you're not going to do is stay in toxic relationships or encourage anyone to stay in toxic relationships. And if this is a child and this is or like a preteen or a 10-year-old, and all of a sudden they're talking about a boyfriend or a girlfriend and they've been online, Sherlock Holmes that shit. Nancy Drew that shit right now, okay? That's you as the elder. You're not going to let it go. You're not going to bury your head in the sand. I want to believe that everything's okay. No. No want to believe. Facts. What are the facts? What does this say? Yeah. And while he spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and forthwith he came to Jesus and said, Hail, Hail, Master, and kissed him. It's almost never someone you don't know. If this is your own child, it's a teacher, it's the librarian, it's your ex, it's your uncle, it's just someone. And you need to pay attention to every single detail. This is illumination. This is the sun. No more darkness. And if that's not a child in your situation, this is you. This is coming out of the dark. You see the light now. The light is shining on you now. And if this is a general message for Taurus as an archetype, you are doing amazing things for the higher courts of laws. Y'all are the catalyst for bringing some of this abuse to light. If it's an industry like New Jeans where they're being pimped out in Saudi Arabia as 16-year-olds, I don't fucking care. Sue me. Prove I'm wrong. Prove I'm wrong, please. Prove I'm fucking wrong. Sorry. Okay. Who not to trust? Someone that suddenly wants to take you fishing, take you out on a boat where you can't get away, take you to the marshes, take you to a remote cabin, take you to the top of a mountain where all of a sudden you're alone and there's no one else around and you can I'm hearing echo, echo, echo. Watch out for that. Someone that exaggerates everything. Ooh, this is going to be so amazing. This is going to be so great. And then it's oh, well, no, that didn't work out. But hey, let's just something. Watch out for that. addictive behaviors. Someone that is on drugs, on meth, on cocaine, watch the fuck out for meth and cocaine. Never do it, never touch it, stay away from it. The higher powers are like kind of okay with medicine in its place. They're okay, like I feel like recreationally with like marijuana is not the same thing as meth. It's not the same thing as heroin. And that was the great failure of the DARE program in the 80s, which I saw happen in real time. They taught children that, marijuana was the same thing as heroin. It's all drugs, What? No, listen. Anyone that does a lot of cocaine, meth, heroin, a lot of ecstasy, it's one thing to try things once in a while, if you're young and you're experimenting, that's life. Or mushrooms, people have been doing that for 1,000 years. That's not the same thing as smoking meth. Okay, so if someone has that in their peripheral, watch out. They're not even in control anymore. That's probably not even them anymore. If you're like, it couldn't be them. They used to be something, but there's something off in their eyes. There's something off. It makes you cold in the room when they're next to you. Watch out for that. Travel is their livelihood. It's like they have all these trips that they go on that they can't really explain, and they have all this money that they can't really explain. Hey, watch out for that. And if this is in your own family, and there's someone who's being predatory towards you and you're like a teenager, and it's your uncle, it's your grandpa, it's your father, it's whatever, it's, hey, let's go fishing this weekend, and it gives you the creeps, say no. Be comfortable saying no. Be comfortable upsetting people and making people's hair stand on their end. Make them afraid of you if you have to. That's a great way to scare away a predator. I've gotten to be good at that. I've had to learn. I'm 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing. And I don't know what's wrong with people, but they get obsessed with me. They become like obsessed with me. So I've had to learn. And maybe you're that way. Maybe it's just like you don't know what it is, but people are obsessed with you. And yet somehow like weirdly abusive, but there needs to be a line drawn in the sand with you and yourself. That this behavior is not acceptable ever. Ever. Or if this is a child, you're teaching them that this week. You have the opportunity to. And if you do see something, say something. You're going to throw the book at someone if you were sexually assaulted and you can prove it. You're going to take them to court. If someone else has come forward and you know that the momentum is going, and it feels right, hell yeah, you're going to say something. Oh yeah, the man that lays his hand on a woman, save in the way of kindness, is a wretch, whom 'twere gross flattery to name a coward. Calling them a disgusting coward is too kind. So even if this is not just sexual assault, there's abuse there. They're a coward. They're disgusting. They're a slug in the eyes of the higher courts right now, and you need to get away from them. Because if it starts that way, it might start that way, and it might end another way. And if this person walks around like they're the big fish in the pond, I'm Big Daddy, I'm Big Grandpa, there's always a bigger fish, and they're about to meet one. Let me pull one more card. Maybe two. Is there anything I'm missing here? Oh boy. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. If this was like a gang rape, stalking sort of a situation, or a company, or a fraternity, or a religion, they're all going down. Any organization, any group, a sorority, they can sexually assault each other. Fraternities, corrupt financial institutions, corrupt lawyers, corrupt judges, corrupt everything. It's the end. It's the end. And if this is little groups of friends that go around and do this and they think they're untouchable, it's over. It's over for them. So whoever you are, oh God, I just got the chills. Thank you for your service. Like this whole thing is about to go down. And it's like you threw yourself into the meat grinder maybe to prove something to the higher courts, which are going to result in proving to the real courts of law here. Anything that's about to come out, stand strong in it, okay? If something's about to come out, stand strong. Be the wolf. Do not be the lamb. You are not the lamb anymore. The hunted has become the hunter. And you have all the higher powers on your side. It's like all the gods in the universe are excited to see this justice happen on such a huge scale that the world is never the same. Pain and misery is over. Messenger. If you're not the messenger here, if there's not something that you can communicate, this is the message for you. You're reclaiming your personal power here. You survived crossing dangerous terrain and learned how to make it on your own. So here comes your strength, your confidence, and a promise of justice for you and the world. Wow. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Whoever you are, I love you. My heart is with you. You can do this. Only you could do this. It's like only you could, I don't know, it's something like you are so brave for doing this. For having gone through it, even if there's nothing to do, even if what's done is done. I'm thinking of when Danny Brown, he's my favorite, rapper in the whole, if you know me, you know that Danny Brown's my favorite rapper. I buy all his albums, I'll always support him. And he came out recently to talk about being sexually assaulted by this disgusting piece of shit called Ninja from this group called Downward. Horrible, evil. I even loved one of their songs when it came out, and I played it. And I regret everything. Do you know how difficult it is for a man to stand up and say, I was sexually assaulted by another man? He must have wrestled. He must have wrestled with that decision. And he even talked about being sexually assaulted by a woman earlier. Like he was in, doing a show and she grabbed his crotch. Just someone in the audience. So we do need to talk about how it's not okay to touch men, and it's not okay to hurt men too, if you're a man. Or if you're a woman, you need to, maybe you have friends who sexually assault each other or other men, and it's time to say something. If it's not so serious that you're in the relationship or it happened to you. I'm so proud of him for that. The first time I saw a Downward video, I was like, oop, that's Satanism. There you go, that's devil. Watch out for anyone with the Satanism. Watch out for anyone with the... And I don't mean the edgelord Satanism. Get the fuck out of here. Grow up. You know what I mean. It's the this. Do you know what that really means? It doesn't mean you're part of the club. It means they're part of a specific club that has sexually assaulted you, and they want the world to know it, and it fucking pisses me off. It's the Satanism, it's the horns, it's all the devil shit, So if someone's involved in meth, cocaine, drugs, Satan worship, that sort of thing, they treat people like they are to be consumed. Stay away from that group of friends. If that's what this means, you need to absolutely separate yourself from any group, organization that participates in that, because it's fucking over for them. And I can't wait to see it, and I love it. I'm here for that. I'm here for this. I come here for this. I'm here for this. And I love it for you. Confidence, vitality, your sovereignty back. What's truly yours can never be taken away from you. But it is a process. So please do arrange if something's happened to you, or it was in the past, or it's like I was saying, you didn't even recognize it as sexual assault at the time. You just thought that's how relationships were. Please find a therapist, someone who is completely separate from anyone you know, completely separate from who the company would send you to, completely separate from who your father or your boyfriend who's assaulting you would send you to, please. And you will be guided in the right direction. Just say a prayer. This ritual is your meditation. It's checking in with yourself every day. And if you see something, do not bury your head in the sand. You'll regret it for the rest of your life. And this is Judas. This could be someone you trust. You trusted them never to do this. You never thought in a million years they would do that. Well, it's like I read online something about a brother who was sexually abusing his 7-year-old mentally challenged sister because she couldn't talk about it. He was like 13, 14, something like that. Do you think the mother ever thought that would ever happen in her life? No, but it's important to pay attention to the warning signs. Nonetheless, even if it could never happen, that will never happen, please pay attention to the warning signs. And if you see it, and you see uncle acting like that and invite your child somewhere, you say no. No. You're keeping your children at home right now. You're keeping them safe right now. And if home is not safe, you need to pay attention to that too. And you need to be Mama Bear or Papa Bear, Mama Wolf. Tear that shit apart, okay? And then it's smooth sailing. So if this hasn't happened yet, teach your children well. Boys and girls. And if they are maybe on the autistic spectrum and they're not great at expressing themselves with language or words, teach them early on to express themselves through art. Be supportive of those who are standing up for themselves, always. And never stand up or make excuses for those institutions that make excuses for rape, pedophilia, abuse. Because who's benefiting from that? Those at the top and the demons they feed. And this is the world saying no more. And this is the higher power saying no more. No more playing games with those who play games. I didn't even read this one. It makes you sick to your stomach. Just this last thing before I let you go. It makes you sick to your stomach. It's too difficult to think about, but I never wondered to see men wicked, but I often wonder not to see them ashamed. So you won't be able to tell from the guilt of this person because they're not ashamed and they don't feel guilty. But it is wicked, and it is an abomination. And it's over now. Thanks to you. And if you are the one that was abused, like I said, my heart goes out to you. And I hope nothing I say comes across as uncaring or callous. Like I said, I am not a licensed therapist, but I am a survivor myself. And you take it day by day. And you have those little red flags that you give yourself to withdraw from the world when you need to. You have an unbiased therapist that you can talk to in a way that you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, you're going to find another one and another one until you find the right one. You're not going to let them drug you and stick you in a corner so that you're drooling from the mouth and you can't say what happened to you. That might be what happens to you if you go to the therapist that, your pedophile uncle wants you to go to, or the abusive CEO wants you to go to, or your abusive mate. No, it's unbiased. It's someone nobody knows. They don't know you. You don't know them. You know for sure that's not a tie. You know for sure they're not in the old boys club. Because that's who those people are loyal to. Period. Not their wives, not their jobs, not their country, not their God. To each other and having each other's back. Period. And in that way the devil wins. No more. No more. Suffering is never the final destination. And you kind of had to play the fool to lure these abusers in and be able to say, this is what it is. And now the wrecking crew that is karma can come in and do their thing. With you safely out of the way. And healing. And loving yourself every day. That's your ritual. You love yourself every day and you check in with yourself every day. And if that's not you, it's someone around you. It's a younger person or even a friend. And they might need you to see something, to say something, because they don't know it's wrong. Or they don't know how to express it. But there will be a sign. And you will be nudged in the right direction. And whoever you are, I'm very proud of you. And I love you. And no matter what, even if you're never going to be the same, you're going to be okay. Maybe not every day, but if you keep healing and you separate yourself from groups, entities, friends, associates that live that way or make excuses for that life, if it's a religion, it's time to say goodbye. Or you will be destroyed with it. And that's not what we have in mind for you here, I don't think, with these cards. We have in mind for you power, success, achievement, liberation and peace. Liberation and peace. Okay, Taurus, I'm going to leave it there. This was a rough one. Be sure to keep yourself spiritually cleansed. Burn sage. Yes, it's all symbolic. It may be a magic feather, but it gets you there to your personal power, your sovereignty. You say, this space is my space and you shall not pass. Create that space for yourself. Healing salt baths. Intention is everything. Be disciplined with it. Keep that personal bubble huge right now. And if something comes up and there's a chance to throw the book at someone that assaulted you, you take that chance. And you stand strong. And you will be rewarded with all the peace, freedom, power that you never thought you could get back. All right, love you guys. See you for the next one.